Hey YouTube, it's not a day of Vita or VDog. What's with that? I don't even know how to start these videos anymore. But today is Monday, October 24th. We'll just start with a date. It also happens to be approximately 2 months since the last time I made a video. My bad. And if I remember correctly, that video was rather depressing, and after I made it, I was like, I'm gonna make another video soon that's less depressing. And then I never did. Story of my life. But I've been thinking about friends and communities a lot lately, and I was like, man, I really miss talking to all my internet friends. And then I was like, if I miss talking to them, like, why don't I make more of an effort to talk to them? Because, you know, that's kind of how friendship works. But I'm really bad at starting conversations. But if you ever want to contact me, I love it when other people start conversations. I will leave below info with Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and Skype and stuff like that. So today I wanted to talk about communities because I've been kind of half-heartedly trying to follow all that's been going on with the Occupy Wallstreet stuff, which has been going on for like more than a month now. Like, I did not expect it to last that long, but good for you, occupiers. You go out and you occupy. I'm not entirely sure why they're occupying, but it seems the general consensus is that they're fed up with our current system. And you know what? I am also fed up with our current society. So I kind of want to go join them, except, you know, I have school. And so one of the things I love about the Occupy Wallstreet movement is that there aren't any real leaders and there aren't any clear-cut goals. There's just like this strong desire for change, and I love the fact that there isn't a hierarchy because they're sort of fighting against the hierarchy. And I've been thinking lately that that's what we need more of in this world: less hierarchy and more equality, less dictation and more communication and deciding on things together. Because I think there are just like so many people in the world now, and it's so easy to live your life without ever making any real connections with other people, and that's why it's more important than ever to have these connections with other people, because I think that's what society was originally based on, like strong connections between people, and now it's just kind of loose associations. And I think that society would be better if we did feel a sense of obligation when it comes to helping other people and making sure they're okay and wanting the best for them. And I think that's a lot easier when you have smaller communities. And I understand that we're not going to get rid of cities or governments or hierarchies or anything like that anytime soon, because I do think with a large group of people, it is somewhat necessary to have a hierarchy just so you can have order. But I definitely support people working towards more equality. And I think it's important that even though we have these hierarchies, that we make an effort to listen to as many different voices as possible. And usually this means listening to the voices outside of the hierarchy, because the hierarchy is not usually very representative of the people. And this is something the Occupy Wallstreet people are commenting on, and about how like the top 1% of the richest people in our country basically run the country, and that's rather troubling because they're obviously not in touch with the needs of everyday people. And I think with smaller communities it's easier to take into account all the different points of view, because with fewer people there are fewer points of view. But I mean, I think we can find ways to make society more representative and more equal and stuff like that, even with larger numbers. For example, the internet. I love the internet. I know some people think that the internet is being used to isolate people, and I think it can be isolating, but it can also bring people together. For example, YouTube. I met so many people through YouTube from around the world that I never would have known otherwise. And I think that's amazing that you can be friends with people and feel these connections and sense of obligation to other people, even though you've never met them in real life. And with YouTube, everyone can voice their opinion. Well, maybe not everyone. I mean, you have to have like a webcam and access to internet, but that's becoming even easier as time goes on and technology progresses and becomes cheaper. And so I think this could be a good way to help solve the gaps in our current society. And that's why I find myself back on YouTube after my 2-month hiatus, because of the community and the communication. Because Before, I didn't get on YouTube because I was like, I don't have time to watch a 4-minute video or make a 4-minute video. But I did have time to spend hours upon hours on Facebook and Tumblr, and I got tired of just being a consumer of things on the internet, and I wanted to participate again and help create awesome things. And I think that's one of the problems with that the Wall Street protesters are talking about, because all these rich people in charge of these big corporations have turned us into consumers who just view things and buy things, and we're not out there creating and discussing. And I think that they're kind of afraid of the protesters because they're not just being consumers anymore. They're going out there and they're engaging in discussions and questioning the hierarchy and all that stuff. And I think that's important, and that's what we need. We need more people participating and less people watching. And that's what's so great about YouTube, is you can watch and communicate, and it's just a whole bunch of awesomeness. And I'm gonna end it on that note.